Jimmy. Jimmy. Jim James, son.
So welcome back to another episode of the Jimmy Jim Jims channel, starring your beautiful host, Jimmy Jim Jims. Hey, that's not a good sign, a tow truck. We are driving this wretched old hulk of an automobile. This is a 1990 Toyota Corolla WAGON. I can't show you back there, but I can show you there's a huge sun visor, what do they call it, rearview mirror that spans the whole length of the car. We picked this up for 500 bucks from a gentleman who gave up on the project. Said the head gasket has gone bad and it cannot be driven for very long without, overheating. We have a very long way to drive this car, about 45 minutes. I filled the radiator up with coolant. I filled the overflow bottle until it was overflowing. We do have a check engine light. We have two stereos for some reason or another, and we got a long way to go. So maybe we'll be broken down on the side of the road and I'll have to call my buddy Rico, or maybe we'll make it home. I really couldn't tell you. So we've gone quite a few miles thus far. We are pulling a Randy from Auto Auction Rebuilds. Traffic is slowing to a crawl. It's been about 20 minutes so far. The temperature is staying good. So I have faith in you. I have faith in you, you beautiful old Toyota. Please, make it back. Please, you beautiful old beast. Burn, you beautiful bench, burn. If you know what that's from. But, oh man, this traffic, oof. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Well, we made it home. I'm incredibly shocked. He said it had a bad head gasket, yet somehow we made it all the way over here without blowing up. And I was doing 70, 75 mile an hour the whole way here. I apologize for the wind noise. We got a storm blowing in. Got some windstorms the last few days, like it's Grand Theft Auto San Andreas up in this piece. But I am surprised because not only did he give me the car, not only did he put a new battery in it, not only did he do more work to it, not only all of that, he gave me a whole set of fucking coilovers, a brand new head gasket set for this vehicle in the box with the timing belt, the water pump, everything. The original Chilton's manual for this vehicle, again, the coilovers, a very nice stereo. And then, to top it all off, is it couldn't get any better, all right, okay? It couldn't get any better for the price I paid. Bam. Brand new. With the rims, with the TRD logos. 14s, those will beautifully fit my Corolla over there. I am blown away by this deal. This car is, look at the headliner. Look at the seats. I can barely contain myself at this point. I'm not a big fan of the steering wheel, but the rest of it, come on. Come on.
I mean, come on.
Come on. For the price, I stole it. Damn, thank you, man, if you're out there. The dude even gave me drinks while I was waiting. He gave me a Red Bull and a, what do they call it, Powerade. Oh, man. Oh, man, this car is fucking sick, dude. It's beautiful. The seatbelts are a little retarded. I'm not a big fan of that. And the crown royal bag over the automatic shifter is a little jank. But, and of course, you got your, ooh. That's how the astronauts make their drinks in space.
When Gemini 4 first launched men into space, Tang instant breakfast drink went with...
But come on, man.
It's like, come on.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, that's right, come on.
Holy frickin' fresh fuck. And look, there's me. Oh, look, there's me. In this massive trucker mirror that my grandfather used to have in his old pickup truck back in the day. Miss you, Grandpa. How could you be mad at this for the price? You just can't. You can't. Oh, man. We are going to have a fun time with this little thing. You better believe it. And again, it didn't use any coolant, nor did it overheat at any point. So we're going to have to go. I know for sure the water pump is leaking. If you look down there, there's a little dribble. The water pump is definitely leaking. So it's very possible that the water pump is the culprit here. And it did run a little rough when I first started it. So we'll do a compression test, a leak down test, a combustion chamber gas test. Definitely change the water pump, but come on, man, for the price, come on. I don't even know what this is, but I like that. I like it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's get to some diagnosis and some work. Unfortunately for Mr. Jimmy Jim Jims, I work 6 days a week, basically all day. So by the time that I come home, the sky looks like this. Little dots of airplanes everywhere, complete darkness, etc., etc. So what we're doing now is looking for the check engine light code on this vehicle. It has a check engine light, however, it's completely dinosauric in the way it works. You have to jump 2 terminals in the diagnostic box under the hood with a paper clip. I don't know why I just did this. Maybe my magic will fix it, right? And here is said terminal with the paper clip jumped in there. So once we went inside here and made that fender noise, oh, that fender just kills me every time I open it. What we can do is go ahead and put the key in here. And when we put the key in here, we gotta turn the stereo off. See how the check engine light's blinking? So we get a code, ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. That's a code 22. So this vehicle has a fault for a code 22. Code 22 is a water temperature sensor fault. It means the coolant temperature sensor is sensing approximately nada. Cero in Espanol, nada, which means nothing. So we're gonna have to go to the store when there is some light out in this beautiful next day coming up and replace the coolant temperature sensor because this one is kaput. And when you try to start the car, it is not a happy camper whatsoever. It does not run on any cylinders. It misfires, it sputs, it spits. And the coolant temperature sensor has a lot to do with management of fuel-air ratio, especially on these pre-OBD2 vehicles, has a lot to do with that. I'm sorry of the pure blackness. Don't worry, more work will commence in the daytime, but this is what we're gonna do for now. It really is another beautiful morning here at the junkyard. We got here before anybody, which is my favorite time to go. We're getting parts for the Corolla wagon, of course. I've already managed to score the original steering wheel with the original center piece. It's filthy but not damaged, which is good. I've also got this, which is quite rare, the cruise control and rear window defogger button, which our vehicle desperately needed. Unfortunately, we don't have the Prindle display because this one is all broken off, but there are a few other pieces that we should be able to rob from this one. I was going to take the headrest, but you can see that they all kind of suffer from the same ailment. Unfortunately, broken, rotten tires, etc. So we're going to go ahead and pick this over a little more, and we'll go see if we can find another one. I do need a set of corner lights for the front. Unfortunately, this one is turned to dust, and this one is long gone. I do need this fender, so we're going to go ahead and pull this fender because same color, it's going to match real nice. It's even got the black trim molding. I may have them do it, or I may pull it. We're going to see how difficult it is, but we're going to try definitely to get this off. We are back from the junkyard, and what a successful junkyard run it was. I found everything. Every single thing I needed. Literally every single thing. The door panel in brand new condition from a vehicle with 81,000 miles. The original steering wheel, beautiful condition. Rear view mirror, beautiful condition. Driver's side door handle. Passenger side seatbelt buckle. The cruise control / rear window wiper button that was completely missing on this vehicle. This is for this, so this goes here. The door handle pull, which is ruined on mine. The Prindle, which is completely missing on this vehicle. It's a little damaged, but we can fix this up real nice and you won't even notice. This passenger side marker light, which I've been looking for. Both headrests, which are unmolested and destroyed. The air intake box, which is original. I don't want the stupid aftermarket cannon that guy put in. It's a good gesture, but it sucks up dirt and debris and it's just not good. An original one is best. And of course, a fender, the same color as the vehicle, so I don't even have to paint it. Completely unblemished. All of this was $169. So add that to the budget, basically. But I think this is everything I need to fix the car. Everything that's broken anyway. You can see if you look past me, that one's busted. It's busted on the other side. Let's just get to it. Let's start installing things. I have a coolant temperature sensor to install, etc., etc. So let's start throwing stuff on. That's one broken and for some reason yellow corner light for the trash. One nicely replaced corner light. I guess we're gonna move on to some interior bits now, and then we'll try to take this godforsaken air intake snorkel off. I'm going to put the original rear view mirror back up in here with the clips, and now I'll be able to see normally instead of every time I'm driving thinking a car is about to hit me in the back of the head, because I can see all the way around and it's kind of scary, to be honest. So let's go ahead and put this back on. Boy, that is a lot better. Like I was saying, that big one kind of freaked me out a little bit. When I would be driving, I would see things in my peripheral vision, and it would just freak me out, basically, because it's like, is the car here? Is it here? Is it there? Who the hell knows? Scares the hell out of me. The next thing I'm going to have to do is, I don't know about the direct next thing, but replace this, replace the steering wheel, replace the door panel, We're going to be doing a good amount of stuff today, but I'm going to be sort of, again, cycling through it because I get the 1 day off a week, and I need that time. Now we're on to this. The previous owner screwed the seatbelt permanently into the pillar, which is rather annoying. I want to remove it from this location and put it on the actual door pillar itself. But because this is part of the latching mechanism and does a bunch of shit, I ended up just getting a proper replacement for it. So we, at the very least, could unbuckle and buckle our seatbelt so we don't get killed horrifically in the event of an accident, which in this car, considering its lack of airbags, will probably happen anyway. But let's see where my dirty ass has been sitting on it because my pants are filthy from work and the junkyard. So let's install this real quick. Couldn't be any simpler. Well, that looks a lot better, doesn't it? And now if we take this comically long seatbelt and plug it in, ready? There we go. It works the way it was supposed to in the first place. Now I get to screw with the steering wheel, which is a quick disconnect and, in my opinion, incredibly dangerous. The one thing you don't want your steering wheel to do is disconnect, so why make it do that? I don't know. This isn't a race car. Probably only goes 80 miles an hour if you're lucky. So let's take this crap off and put the original, slightly less dangerous, but still pretty dangerous steering wheel back on. Boy, doesn't that look a heck of a lot better and a heck of a lot more attached. It feels a lot safer to me when I'm driving it, and that's something that you can't put a price on, except this was $30, so you can put a price on it. I know you've been digging holes, baby. Come here. Oh, it's Miss Bella. Oh, you little chubby. You're such a chubby checker, aren't you? Go do the twist, chubby checker. Go do the twist. Stop looking at me. All right, I gotta get back to working on the Corolla, Miss Bella. All right. Oh my goodness. You're gonna have a crazy stroke, huh? Yeah. We are now moving on to some more mechanical things in this vehicle. What is this thing that you're looking at? Well, it's a thermostat housing within a thermostat housing. And in an essence, it is the computer brain, because this car is pre-computer, okay? This has all the sensors for the cooling system to make your temperature gauge go up and down, to the car's basic dinosaur brain computer to understand what temperature is going in, coming out, etc., etc. In this car, the wires are cut. That's why it's having no kind of information sent to it. All it really needed was this sensor. I went to change this sensor and it snapped off. Snapped off clean inside the little housing. Now I could tap and dye it out, but this is a coolant passage. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it down there. See that? Snapped off clean in the little housing. So in my opinion, there's no point to fiddle or faddle with that. It's better to replace the whole thing. So I got a replacement for $50 from the junkyard that includes all the sensors, and the car I took it at only had 120,000 miles, sadly. So this thing should still be good. I even went ahead and bought a new thermostat, a gasket, seal, everything. That way, the whole cooling system on this car should be nice and happy once we finally get it running properly. But this one is a very clean unit, and the thermostat looks to have been replaced recently, but we're gonna go ahead and change it anyway because peace of mind. Jimmy doesn't like doing things 2, 3, 4 fucking times in a row. It frustrates me, you can imagine. So, let's get to throwing this on. First, we gotta drain the cooling system the right way. Hey, there's my wrench I was looking for. So we do this now, we don't have problems later. Honestly, this thermostat looks just fine. It's even made in the US of A. Isn't that lovely? But this gasket is completely deteriorated and kind of loose. So it's better that we change it now to avoid future problems for future Jimmy, who's probably gonna be future angry, having to take everything apart for the 50th time. So let's do this, put it all back together. It's quite simple. Might be hard to see, but our prize is down in there. Before we go down in there and make a big fat mess, what I noticed when I was taking this apart is you see these 2 wires? Those go to this connector, or at least they did at some point. Probably in the 90s, not anymore. That is for the coolant temperature sensor. If the car is not sensing any coolant temperature, it will be a rotten pain in the ass to start, and it will misfire and buck and not receive gas. It's basically, that little coolant temperature sensor controls the air-fuel ratio, kind of like an old-school MAF sensor, but it relies on temperature. So what I did was when I went to the junkyard, I snagged one of these. Yeah, we're gonna crimp it on. Don't get your little panties in a crimp. It'll be all right, I promise you. It'll be all right. Don't worry about it. It'll go on there. Every car I've ever done this to, it's worked for years. In fact, I still have several of the cars that I've done this to. So for those of you who say, and I've done it to the van, almost all the sensors on the van had to be changed because all the wiring was destroyed when I got it. So it definitely works just fine. Go ahead and stick this on. But I guess before we stick this on, we should probably start taking all of these stuff apart. That way we don't get any coolant in the sensor. It's a good thing I film these because you see these vacuum wires here, vacuum hoses. This one in the back goes to the charcoal canister, or the vapor canister in this case. And this one in the front goes to the upper throttle body. So I'm going to disconnect these so I can remove these wires so I don't accidentally snap that sensor. And I need to remember where they go. So thank goodness for videotape. Finally got that stupid old thermostat housing out of there. This thing was a nightmare, man. I broke this little vacuum thing. Broke this. Looks like it was already on its way out. Obviously this was broken off in the housing, which is why I was changing this in the first place. Needless to say, cooked. The new one has everything in place. I'm gonna have to be very careful when I put it back in place so that I don't fuck anything up. We wouldn't want that now, would we? On the back of this, well, let's say one more thing. The gasket for this thermostat, completely done for. Now, we are gonna have to put a gasket on the back of this thing. See how this one had absolutely no gasket left? Well, it's gonna be real hard to see if I can stick you down in there. See that? The gasket had melted away into nothing, basically. So there was no more gasket there. This gasket stuff should work just fine. I need to clean off both mating surfaces and make sure everything's ready to go. Not really sure how long this is supposed to dry for, but it does say on the back, or it does say on the back. Book, what am I, fucking Canadian? Do say on the back, eh? Water neck outlet. Oh yeah. Mega blue. Boy, that was a bit of a struggle. Your pal Jimmy's out of breath, but there it is, all installed with the new silicone gasket maker. I'm gonna have to wait 24 hours, which for me is gonna be another 4 days for it to dry before I can put any kind of fluids in it. But I also decided to go ahead and change every single one of these wiring connectors because they were all hideous. Each and every one was frayed and fragile. And I don't want to put all this back together and have a signal drop somewhere. So it's better to just do it while we're doing it. We don't have any leaks from the hoses, it doesn't appear. So I think we're gonna go ahead and keep that as it is. The next thing I gotta do is throw in the OEM air box that we have. And that's where this nice little hose here goes. And maybe clean the throttle body since we're already in here, although it looks very nice and clean. So I don't think we're gonna need to do that for the very first time ever on this channel, right? Right? Yeah, actually the previous owner of this car, not the original owner, all right, the guy that used it as a farm truck, but the previous owner that sold it to me, I'm glad that he took such nice care of it. Like, he really cleaned this up. It looks real nice. This fender is gonna need to be replaced, but we got the replacement. Probably gonna change out the headlights. But overall, this guy really kept it nice. It's nice to see pride of ownership. That's something you almost never see anymore. Most people drive around in Nissan Altimas with the fucking rear bumper hanging off and a taillight lens missing. This is not that. It's definitely not. It deserves every bit of the struggle that I have endured today. So let's move forward. More progress. The original air box is back in place. I like the original air boxes. No offense to the previous owner whatsoever. In my opinion, in the research that I have done, they do absolutely nothing for the vehicle. They do not improve fuel economy. They do not improve power. They do improve the ability of the engine to suck up sand straight into the intake and down into the cylinder walls, which is not good for these motors. But I'm trying to avoid that. I need to find this hose at some point, but I think we're going to go ahead and throw the battery back in and just give everything a once-over, do a couple more checks. Maybe if we're lucky today, we'll be able to pull this fender off and put the new one on, but I doubt it. But everything went together really easily. I am surprised at this car. It's almost like it wants to be fixed. It's not often I get a car that basically begs me to fix it. So I'm very happy by that. Very happy to see this vehicle in the shape it's in. So let's go ahead and throw that battery back in. Just for representation, this is the handful of sensors and or connectors that did absolutely nothing or were broken when I got in there. This is why we changed them, because they're awful. Excuse the voice, I am sick today, but good thing we changed all these. There is the new driver's side door panel installed. I didn't show you what I was doing because you've seen me do it a million times. It's just 2 screws, a third screw, a clip, and a bunch of other clips. But you can see this one is not all ruined. I do have to clean it. It's a little dusty. But once I give it a little bit of a clean up, it'll be in perfect condition. There's no cracking. There is no destroyed bits. This works nicely, and it's even the same color. The other one was black. This one is blue. That steering wheel really makes it look better in here. One thing I'd like to focus on at some point is removing this second stereo and putting the blanking plate back in, because it's not connected to anything. There's no power to the stereo. It does nothing. It's just a weird thing that's mildly irritating that's in the center console. So it's getting much better in here. I like it already. We still have to do this, but that's going to have to wait for another day because it is quite a task. You have to take off this and this and this and this and everything. So we are going to wait until we have a little bit more time and a little bit more sunlight to do that. We have very little light left, probably about 30 minutes. But within those 30 minutes, hopefully I can put this in because this one just looks hideous and I can't stand it. I was able to clean this up good enough to, you know, you can see what gear you're in now. It looks pretty good. It's not filthy, so I think this will have to do. You can see that I've Sharpied where all of the little enamel plating was missing, and it looks good enough. Good enough for government work. So let's try to pop all this out with what little time we have left. So of course, I can never leave well enough alone. The time is accurate. It is 5:53, and I have everything all taken apart. You can see the shifter is completely disassembled. The old one is over there. We're gonna see if we can get this new one to clip in place, and hopefully everything goes good. I can't say, but I sure hope it does, because it would be nice to drive around and knowing what gear I am in instead of just guessing. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and take that. It looks a lot better. It's not all shattered anyway. I don't really like this, but try finding one of these and see how hard that is. I can't find one to save my life. When you turn the lights on, more or less, kind of, it looks like something out of steampunk, but whatever. It works. That's all that matters. It looks a lot better now, not so smashed. So to me, this is all that matters. It took us a mere 20 minutes to do all of this. It looks like we've just about run out of light, but look at how nice the interior looks. Original nice steering wheel, original door panel, original shifter, albeit slightly a different color. Original rear view mirror. It just looks so good in here now. Everything works. I love it. Let's see. Oh, I forgot this door handle doesn't work from the outside. I'm gonna have to fix that. Let's see if we can go around in here. So in the back, like I said, we have those coilovers, which I will not be using because I just don't feel like it. The old air intake, which again, I won't be using. The Chilton's manual, very handy to have this. Thank you to the previous owner. I appreciate that greatly, along with the gasket set. That's a big win. And the water pump, we're gonna do that next. We're gonna get to change the water pump and the timing belt. Isn't that fun? And this fender, which I'm gonna have to put on at some point after a good polish. Don't even wanna know how long that's gonna take, but it's gonna be for another day. So, beautiful car. It's too bad there's a little bite. I'm gonna get some Gorilla Tape and put it over that, but it's too bad there's a little bit of a bite taken out of that seat. Otherwise, that seat is beautiful. But for a day, for one day's worth of work, I think that we have done more than enough.